What's good with the YouTube? Y'all already know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, and I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through that little bit of energy. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, and hit the bell notification for future fire content. And you guys are wondering why I'm doing such a late drop. Man, I had a lot of things in my mind, man. A lot of things I was thinking about, and I was really unsure of what type of video I wanted to do today. So, man, let's get to it though right now.
So, yesterday, 3 men were convicted of an execution-style killing that happened in 2017 that was allegedly ordered by a chapter of the Mexican Mafia, they're saying. Federal prosecutors said the victim, Richard Villela, was a drug dealer and a member of a Costa Mesa gang who was supposed to send a cut of proceeds, allegedly, to Johnny Martinez, also known as Crow from Valencia. Henceforth, they alleged that Crow was also in charge of the Orange County chapter for the Mexican Mafia. When Villela was 28, came up short by a few $1,000s, prosecutors said that allegedly Martinez authorized his murder from a cell phone in prison, relying on foot soldiers who were eager to improve their status within their own gang. Now, the federal prosecutor and Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher Matthews said that to jurors in closing arguments Thursday, so this case just ended Thursday, that they assassinated him. Standing near the victim's body in bullet-riddled undershirt, which was mounted on a board, they cut him down in the street in a barrage of gunfire. It took just a day for juries to deliberate, and they found each of the defendants, Kevin Trejo, whose street name was Minor, James Mendez, who went by Buck, and Mike Escobar, who went by Risky, guilty of murder in the aid of racketeering. Which, for the viewers listening, that basically means that these guys killed someone on behalf of a particular organization to help the organization advance. Simple as that. Now, this was the first trial, right, to emerge with basically a verdict in a Rico indictment that was filed last year, naming 31 members and associates of the Mexican Mafia involved in Orange County. They say that the alleged leader, who are they claiming the leader is one Johnny Martinez, will probably be going to trial sometime this year. Now, the victim in this case, Villela, was gunned down in the early minutes of August 21st, 2017, in the 800 block of East Culver Avenue in Orange County. A neighbor said she heard a series of bangs that she thought were fireworks, then saw a black SUV drive away. Villela had been shot in the back 7 times, and police found shell casings from 2 different guns at the scene, including a .357. The government built its case with the help of surreptitiously recorded phone calls, as well as cell phone texts and location pings indicating the defendants were together and were the victim on the night of the murder. So basically, they were able to tie all of them together, basically through the cell phone pings, that the 3 suspects and the victim were actually together that night. Now, one text in particular was one that Escobar sent to the victim's girlfriend before he was murdered. It says, "Hey, D, let P know to get at me." The text read, D referred to Villela's girlfriend and P to Villela's nickname Pedro, according to court testimony. According to the indictment, Escobar was driving the black Jeep Cherokee that was captured by surveillance video pulling into the alley near Villela's home in Anaheim just before midnight. There was further another text where Escobar texts Villela here. In a text he sent soon before his murder, minutes later, Villela told his girlfriend that he was in a car with Buck, apparently a reference to Mendez. Prosecutors said Trejo took a .357 from acquaintance before the shooting and afterward asked the acquaintance, a gunsmith, to change the barrel. Jurors could reasonably conclude that Trejo was in possession of one of the guns involved in the shootings, prosecutors said. The SUV, which had been stolen from the Avis rental agency at John Wayne Airport, was later found abandoned in Tijuana. Now, all 3 suspects were found guilty, and they go for sentencing on March 25th. And they basically could be facing life in prison, and that's probably what they're going to get since they went to trial. Now, this was a pretty big indictment once it dropped, right? Especially with one of the, alleged conspirators to the crimes, right? Or alleged leader, right? That they're alleging that with Crow, right? Is that he had just beat a murder case not that long before this. And got them pretty. It didn't beat him. I think they got him dismissed by the judge and the district attorney because it just didn't have the evidence, and he filed some motions. Now, Crow is really good at legal law. Like I said, I've been a couple times with him in Corcoran Shoe. Which he was up there, and I think he was working under Artie as Artie's secretary at the time, right? Allegedly. But he's known how to fucking wiggle in the system, and he's filed a lot of motions and so forth on a variety of things, right? And in fact, that's how I think he was able to beat and get the last case thrown out. Now, this one, like anything, right? When you go to trial, you watch everybody and sees what happens if you get a separate trial from your co-defendants, right? Now, because he has other indictment charges related to other things, is why I think that they kind of separated him and didn't include him in this trial. So now, did he not only get a chance to, which he'll probably receive, trial transcripts of what was said, he can see what's going to be attacked and what could potentially be used against him. He could be prepared to fight that. It's going to get interesting. 31 people have still, I think 31, this is just the first 3 that have either took it to trial, or I think there's a few people who have already taken deals and they've elected to work with, the federal prosecutors. So I anticipate that there's going to be more trials coming up. There's one thing I'm going to tell you guys that I find kind of interesting. In lieu of all these different videos I've been able to do, right? A lot of these videos, right, before you could type in, Mexican Mafia, Nuestra Familia, you'd be able to find the information ASAP. It would come up, newest articles, right? Right now, it's not really coming out that way. You got to really basically know how to research stuff a little bit differently now, because they're not putting all this stuff out there on social media for everybody to fucking have a chance to read. This story, I was able to get the information based upon the fact that it was in the Los Angeles Times, which is a great source for anything that has to do with the MA, because they're dropping a lot of articles on that fucking newspaper. Anyways, this was a quick jury deliberation, which means a lot of times when they come back with a verdict that fast, it's usually not a good thing for the defendants in a case. A lot of times it means they've already decided, they already fucking know, and there was little to really fucking deliberate in deliberations. Now, I'm not going to comment whether these guys did the crime or not, or whether I think they did or didn't. I'm going to say this, though, right? It's sad that people are willing to throw their lives away, right? Where they have their freedom and whatnot, to take another person's life that they know nothing about, or really no details of the history of this person, what they have and hadn't done, and what they did and didn't do. They may have never ever even seen this individual, heard of them, but yet there's people out there that will let to pick up that firearm and go put in work on behalf of an organization. An organization that, even if one aspires to be a member, it's still hard to be made. Just having the ability to whack someone isn't just one expectation. I mean, there's a lot more huger responsibilities. That's why you got guys that I've seen in the system that get frustrated after 20, 25 years, and they see all the bullshit. They elect to change their life, and next thing you know, they're complaining about this and that. It's like, man, where were you 20 years ago when you fucking decided to make your sacrifice to take somebody's life? Now, apparently in this case, the individual that was whacked owed a couple $1,000s, man. Streets get kind of a little bit treacherous, to get cutthroat, right? A lot of narratives get spun. A lot of times shit happens. So I'm wondering how much truth to that claim is really existed. Was the dude fucking off money? You know what I'm saying? Was he burnt? What was the behind the scenes that led to this money that's up, we gotta whack this dude? Allegedly, like I said. I'm trying to wrap my head around that, man, because you're not going to get your money back when you do that. And a lot of times when you're doing a pagada like that, or a hit, or taking someone out, is usually to set an example for others, so others follow fucking suit in whatever you're trying to enforce. Now, regarding this video right here, man, everything has been, put out there by the media, by newspaper outlets and whatnot. It's just my perspective, my views of it, whether one agrees with it or not, that's okay. This comes from my experience as far as dealing with some of these individuals, the way I've seen things turn out and whatnot. And like I said, I was there with Crow for a little bit, 2 times, man. And all I can say about him is he's a very shrewd individual, as far as he's very self-aware of a lot of stuff, and he's really good at that law. So He's filed a lot of different lawsuits against the Department of Corrections, and he's won a lot of them. And it's going to be interesting to see how he proceeds with his own personal trial here, and what does he elect to do. He's already a life from the state, right? But if there's really some ongoing issues, a power struggle going on, that's going to kind of influence this trial and which way he decides to go, whether he decides to fucking wait it out for a lot longer or whether he decides to do a speedy trial. Because at any moment, he could just pull his fucking speedy trial and just enforce it. They have to take him to court within certain times. Now, bear in mind, the government's going to be gunning for his head, and that's a fact. Because he got that case thrown out, the murder beef that he had against him for another murder, I believe it was, where it got dismissed. Now, before I close this video, I know that a lot of people probably want me to put out my opinion on some things that have recently transpired. At the current moment, I'm not going to do that. Things could always change where I do, but I'm going to leave that alone. You know, even me voicing an opinion on certain things, it could be misconstrued that maybe I'm in support of one individual over the other and vice versa. And so rather than fucking just talk about it, I'm going to back on up from it. Yeah. Anyways, hope everybody has a positive day. Keep it pushing. Keep it striving. Man, never give up, man, because no matter what, no matter how hard life hits you, man, you got to get back up, man, and keep on fucking proceeding forward, man. And I've had a lot of shit fucking hit me, and there's a lot of shit that's currently hitting me that you guys don't know about. But I'm keeping it to myself, man. With that said, man, don't forget, you never know what the next man or woman is going through. Instead of being a deterrent on those individuals, try to be a supporter and helping them get through whatever shit they got going on. With that said, I'm gone.